Friendship in adulthood is very different from friendship in your earlier years. They say the 20s are your loneliest decade. It makes sense because this is the decade where you're getting to know yourself and you're accepting yourself and loving yourself. And so naturally that would come with spending time alone. Whereas in the past, maybe in your teenage years, you probably were constantly surrounded by people. You were in school and you had a set schedule that you had to follow. So your 20s are a super different time. They're super independent time. But then I have people in my life who are literally married or have had a child. And I am just painting in my room, making YouTube videos, and that's what I love to do. And it's a personal thing. It's a personal preference. But I think that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to feel lonely. And eventually that loneliness becomes something that you get used to and you get more comfortable being with yourself. And then it's like a good reset to spend time by yourself. And I also think it ebbs and flows. Like, you're going to have times where you feel amazing by yourself. You're going to have times where you feel lonely. And so I think it's about having a good balance between socializing and spending time by yourself. I personally used to be a very social person. In university, I was constantly hosting. Me and my best friend, we were very social butterflies. But I was also the saddest I've ever been during those years. I was coping with alcohol. I was seeking validation from outside sources because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't love myself. And it was a very painful time. And the times that I've spent the most time outside of myself with other people are typically the saddest times in my life. And although feeling lonely can also make you feel sad, there's a kind of comfort that you can find in it, in that you're building this ability to spend time by yourself. You're building this beautiful confidence and this resilience and this inner knowing and this inner trust and guidance that you can then move through life with and start to create and build things, whether that's a project you want to start, whether that's a company you want to start, a place that you want to move to, or anything, a relationship that you want to have. Working on yourself and building your self-confidence, your self-trust helps you be better for other people. It helps you know yourself better so that you can consciously enter a relationship or a business venture or a career path, rather than just enter something and 3 years down the line just think, oh my goodness, I was not in the right headspace when I made this decision. I didn't believe in myself that I could do what I actually wanted to do. And it's okay if you did do this. It's okay to make mistakes and to have to backtrack and start again. It's completely normal and okay, but there is a lot of grief that can be experienced when we do that. I think that intuition is something that we often ignore. I think it's important. It's important to listen to yourself, because I read this quote the other day that was like, if you're unsure, the answer is no. And I actually really loved this quote because it made decision making a little bit more simple. There's a lot of situations where I need to make a big decision, and sometimes I'm just like, it's okay to not know where you're going. A lot of us just don't know what the hell we're doing in our 20s. And there isn't a manual, but I find that the quicker that you can develop your own personality and your own confidence and inner knowing, the quicker that you can start to make decisions independently, not based on what people around you think that you should do. And when you get in touch with that side of yourself that is confident, that is, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do. this makes me feel good. It becomes easier to silence the noise. If you have a lot of options and you don't really know which path to take, as long as you know yourself, you're working towards knowing yourself more, it doesn't matter what path you take, because you're going to figure it out. You're still going to have you. And even if you lose this connection to yourself, even if sometimes you feel like, damn, I really abandoned myself, that's okay too. That's okay. But become aware of that and come back to yourself and reconnect with yourself and be like, okay, I love you, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I love you. And look yourself in the mirror and have those chats in the mirror and be like, okay, what do we want? Let's have a meeting. Let's have a meeting to figure out what's the plan, Stan. You know what I'm saying? It's so important to talk to yourself, and truly, you know best. You know best. If you have a bad feeling about something or someone, you're probably right. But as much as it's important to stick to your values and your plan and your goal, it's also important to let other people in, people who want to love you, who want to help you. Just be the best version of yourself. And honestly, setting boundaries is the best thing ever. I made a whole video about this in the past. But yeah, if there's ever someone who you're just like, I actually don't want to hear your opinion because it's not contributing to my growth, just get rid of them. Just be like, the door is that way. And don't feel bad about it at all. Because if you have a bad feeling about someone, most of the time you're probably right. You're probably right. Or you can keep them around and then test the waters and see, okay, is this changing? If that's not changing, then yeah, just get rid of them. You'll know who the real ones are, and the real ones will be with you through the good and the bad, I look a bit insane right now, but I don't really care. The real ones will be with you through your lowest lows, your highest highs. They will want what's best for you. They will check in on you. I guess what I just want to say is you have your whole life ahead of you. You have your whole life ahead of you. And it doesn't matter what age you are at. You literally have not met all of the people that are going to love you yet. You have not met the people who are going to see you and connect with you on a deep level. There are so many of those people who are going to come your way. Whether that's you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, every decade has its beauty. Every decade has its new experience and lessons and heartbreak and love. And it's just a beautiful spectrum of feeling. And yeah, it's life. And it's beautiful because it's scarce. It's a finite experience. And so appreciate what you have. Appreciate the people that you have around you. And get rid of the ones who don't give a flying fuck about you, because some of y'all's circles be huge. Some of y'all have huge circles, but I know most of those people don't give a shit if you end up in a ditch. For real. Please, don't try to tell me that somebody with 20 friends, you think all those friends are going to check up on you and ask if you in a ditch? I sound like a freaking granny lecturing right now, but it's true. I think that's the difference when you're like an adult, is you actually have to go out of your way to reach out and make plans and keep that connection alive. Otherwise it just fades off. And so it's in my experience, it's very rare to find someone where you genuinely know you have this person. Even if you haven't spoken in a long time, you know they want what's best for you. You know they don't be talking about you negatively behind your back, that kind of stuff. They understand you going through your phases of life. I personally only have a couple people in my life who fit in that category. Everybody else just be there, you know what I'm saying? They're just acquaintances. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to pretend because I feel like I was pretending for like years. When I was in university, I cared about like the number of friends I had more than the quality of friendships I had. But I don't know. It's also a personal experience. If you have a huge circle of people and you find that everyone in your circle is like genuine and you guys are vibing and you checking in on each other, then amazing. I'm happy for you. I just always want to emphasize that quality is so much more important than quantity. Who's going to show up to your funeral? Who's going to be cracking jokes at your funeral, talking positively about you, telling everybody like, oh my god, do you remember? She was a real one. And who's going to be literally not showing up to your funeral, saying they got something better to do? It's important to nurture these genuine friendships and connections because they are going to pay off. You will have a friend for life. And even if it's just a friend for a season, that's okay too. You have that experience, and that experience is not a waste. It's a genuine experience and an exchange of energy, but just understand those relationships that you have with people and what they actually want from you, because a lot of people just be talking, or a lot of people just be asking you questions so that they can hear you talk. You know what I'm saying? They don't actually care. But yeah, I wanted to end this on a positive note, but I'm just trying to be real with you. I love you so much. Tell me what you think down below in the comments about adult friendships. What are your friendships like? Do you have a lot of friends? Do you have a small circle? Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel, of course. Watch my last video if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Love you.